Hey guys, welcome back to the fifth episode of the Curious Recap podcast. If you're new here, my name's Ruin and I'm joined by Kabir and Nimruko, the co-host of the podcast. If you guys are new here, of course, go and watch our previous videos. We talk about some exciting stuff, four pretty exciting topics. But today, we're going to be talking about mindfulness and how it helps reduce stress, which is pretty interesting, right? So before we get into that, I think we have some action items from the previous week where we talked about effective communication and emotional intelligence that we had to talk about.
Yeah. So for the last episode, our action item was to help someone and meet someone new. Go and meet, interact with someone. So for me, actually, I helped someone last night preparing them this Notion template so they can track their daily work. And I think that's something I'm going to remember for a very long time, right? So like that. And actually, we recorded our last episode last Friday, like something. So it's not that
just
far.
a couple of days back. Yeah,
just a couple of days back. So it's not the full week, but I'm happy with where I am during this week, and I'm going to talk to new friends and make some connections during the next week. So yeah, what about you, Nimruga?
Well, as you guys all know, I started uni recently, so there's a lot of new people to me. So these few days I've been making new friends, like just conversing really as a start and helping others and everything else.
Talking about my action item. I work at a supermarket, so I interact with a lot of people. There are different kinds of people that I get to interact with on daily basis. Yeah, like some people are very nice, some people are quite rude. I don't want to get into the whole rude thing because it's another story. But yeah, I made some new friends. If you guys saw my blogs, like I made some new friends at work. That I still talk to them. I got their contacts and I chat with them. And I feel more at home at work, I guess, like, having more people around. And also, I
had the same experience. After A-levels, I started working at this, you might know Sri Lankan Insurance, a near branch around here. So it helps us to, if you are going to help someone, at least someone, then it kind of reduces your social anxiety, right? That you are part of
As build up self-confidence.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's like, when you are actually that part of that group, like when you're new here, you're not the part of the group. You're like an outsider, but like when you're a part of the group, it actually feels like more comfortable.
And also, if I remember correctly, Rowan, at the start you were like not very interested about going to work, right?
Yeah, and now that's turning around. I'm pretty interested in going work now. That's how I implemented the last week's action item, I guess. I'm also gonna try and improve throughout the week because as Kavir mentioned, we didn't have a whole week to work on our action item. That's it for the action items. I think we'll jump in straight to the topic. So talking about mindfulness, it's a pretty popular topic these days. I think most of us have watched something regarding mindfulness, read something about mindfulness somewhere, like at some point of our lives. So what is mindfulness? So the general definition of mindfulness is the intentional, accepting and non-judgmental focus of one's attention on emotions, thoughts, sensations occurring at the present moment. So that's a mouthful, right? So basically, simply putting that into words is, it's just accepting who you are, what you are doing at the present moment, being aware of it, accepting that you're doing this and you're at this moment, right? But I want to direct you guys into a different way of thinking about what mindfulness is. For that, I should ask you, do you guys, you guys obviously know, but are you guys aware of what being mindless feels like? So like being low conscious, distracted and unaware.
And also like a low self-esteem and not being feeling depressed because you always think like worried about the future and not being yourself.
Kind of anxious. Yeah.
Yes.
So, like for an example, haven't you guys had a conversation with some person? This also traces back to effective communication. Haven't you guys ever had a conversation where at some point you just lost your focus and just found out that you lost your focus and you got distracted, and I was like, what was this guy talking about again? Like, have you guys had experiences like that? So that's what being mindless feels like. So literally being mindless is not having your attention on the present moment, right? So you get distracted, you're not conscious of what's happening. So that's being mindless.
Basically being lost. Basically being lost.
So mindfulness means the total opposite of this. So I feel like mindfulness. So one of the goals us as a group have during this podcast is to, by the end of this podcast, you guys have your own definition of what mindfulness means to you. Because definitions of mindfulness can change to person. Like not only on mindfulness, but definition on anything can change from a person to person. So I'll say a few things that I think mindfulness is related to. So if you guys relate to that, or if you guys have any other ideas, you guys can use that to define mindfulness. And please, let us know in the comments. So we are also excited to know about that. So I see mindfulness as a freedom from anxiety and worry. I think Nimruka just mentioned that being anxious about something that might happen, that's you can reduce that.
That's not within our control, right? Something that's not within our control. That's the main thing that
being anxious about something not within our control. Yes.
And perception without judgment. I want to get into what perception is deeper down in this conversation, but it's literally perception means the sensations that you feel and you acknowledge. So perception without judgment. You see or notice something, but you don't judge it. That's mindfulness for me.
Yes.
And it's getting out of your head and into your body. And it's checking your present moment and being in a flow state. Can you guys relate to any of the things I said?
And also, Rin, I might like to act like, for me, where mindfulness shines most is when with patience and beginner's mindset. Beginner's mindset, when you go into something new, you like expecting to be similar, or you feel like everything's similar, already, or something like. I had, and I currently have this problem too, not too deep, but surface level of beginner's mindset. I have to improve on that. And also patience. I lack patience a lot.
Mm-hmm. So I think mindfulness can help. Like, I think mindfulness already does.
For me, actually, the thing that I was, that I had, one of my qualities is that I think we talked about this in the first episode, that I don't take actions when I think that I don't predict the future like something. So that's something that you worry too much. That usually I worried so much about many things that I don't have any control of. Right, meeting someone, starting some kind of work, actually starting this podcast. Right. So we face that. So being mindful, being mindful, I think that helped me a lot for that.
Can I ask you guys? So, simply, if you guys can explain, what would you say like mindfulness is to you in like a couple of words?
Being aware of what you have control over. For me, actually.
That's being
For me, it's more like being present and also not worrying about what you can't control, and be like accept what you have and be satisfied with what you have.
So it's So I think all of us relate in like not the same thing, but different circles that intersect at some point, right?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
So basically put, it's about being in this mental state. So we talk about mindset, right? Mindset is not something that's there all the time. Mindset is a moment. You have a mindset at a point, the next point you don't. That's
Just like motivation.
yeah. Mindset is a moment, and at this moment, what you perceive, what you think of yourself, what happens, like what you're aware of, is it like it's understanding and being aware of that is simply what mindfulness is. But like people know about mindfulness in different ways, as we talked about. Definition of mindfulness depends on the person, and there are like a lot of ways that people try to develop mindfulness. And I think there are not some, actually, loads of places where people try to improve their mindfulness and get wrong, because
Yeah, definitely.
we live in an age where if we just Google what mindfulness is, we'll be bombarded with loads of information that comes from various different sources. Like if you just go Google mindfulness right now, you'll see like thousands of different links and everything that you can watch, videos you can watch, articles you can read. But these are from different sources, right? So I think like more us here, we talk about mindfulness. We didn't just Google and just write the script, right? We talk about stuff that we implement in our lives. So so I think people think mindfulness is a kind of meditation. But what it is, I'm not saying it's not. All right. If I was asked the question, if mindfulness is, or if you required, like if it is required to meditate in order to achieve mindfulness, I wouldn't say hell yeah, but I'd say yeah, but no at the same time, because mindfulness, like meditation, does not actually teach you what mindfulness is. Like it doesn't, I mean, up to some extent it does, right? Because meditation helps you control your breath, posture, which are two key things that you need to be aware of in order to have mindfulness. But it also, like mindfulness also has this thing called stop thought. Like it's a form where you disengage from your world. It's like if I think we talked about this in the previous episode, not regarding this, but regarding having a conversation with a person. It's about getting out of yourself and having a third person view. So disengaging from yourself and looking at your mind. All right, so this thought came to my head. All right, I'm thinking about it now. All right, so the judgment is happening right now. So you see these thoughts coming in, how these thoughts affect you. I think that's like meditation helps you
focus and focus.
Yeah. But having mindfulness has all those things, but in a more active approach, I think.
I think, Arvind, like meditation is like a small part of mindfulness. Mindfulness, I think, mindfulness is all those things combined. Meditation, working
actually,
out, physically. Yes, how to go.
Yeah, actually, I think if you start your day with meditation, it kind of helps us to be mindful throughout the day, right? I mean, being at the actually for me, when in the gym or when running in the ground, or that's something you take breaks in and out, like something that small things that gives you small things. This is kind of give you the attention, kind of something. You have these times that you can focus on yourself, right? Like Ruin said, I'm not familiar with that third person view method, but when I'm in the gym, I don't go to gym because I want to build muscles or anything. It kind of
You get into the zone.
Yeah, exactly. Get into the zone and kind of remove all the other distractions, right?
Yes, definitely. It is about distractions and not paying attention to those distractions and being present in the moment.
Yeah, but I feel like what Kabir mentioned about meditating first thing in the morning, how it helps us improve and sustain mindfulness throughout the day. I think that also has something to do with, like, have you guys heard of the quote, the morning sets the tone for the whole day?
Yes, definitely.
Do you guys have a specific morning routine like you guys do every day?
Yes.
Sure, I
So,
wake up, normally wake up, then drink some water or something, then I think both of you do the same, right? It's
Yes.
yeah.
Just don't let negativity affect you in the morning.
Yeah.
That's
so without getting into the whole routine, but I'll just say that this what Kabir mentioned is how this meditation, like this section of meditation that you do every morning in a routine, can help you be mindful, because this things that you do consistently throughout the day, right? It sets up the tone for the day. So if you start your day mindful, there's a high chance that it sustains throughout the day too. So what do you guys personally use as techniques to develop mindfulness personally?
Develop mindfulness. It's for me, it's mostly about removing things that I don't have control. Distractions. They are distractions, but removing the things that I don't have control, like control over. Something.
So, like, how exactly does that, like?
Yeah, actually, one of my friends asked yesterday, so I told him this, that if there's an exam coming and there are things in an exam, it depends on the your syllabus, your lecture, and how the marking schemes are made. But when you worry about those things you can't change, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
out of our control.
Actually, that's something that helped me a lot.
What you can do is disregard all of that
and focus on what you can control.
So it like reduces you being anxious. Is that it?
It's definitely anxious and being worried.
Being worried.
So as I mentioned, like, meditation is not necessary for to have mindfulness. You can like have mindfulness without meditation. That's basically what I'm saying, right? So what I basically do is it's a really simple technique. It's about checking into the present moment once in a while. So I know Kavi mentioned that if you have do meditate or do a mindful practice in the morning, it would sustain throughout the day. I think that's true too. But I have these times that I get distracted or I get anxious or worried. And at these times, I do a present moment check. So how I do that is through self-talk and framing. Self-talk can be like, people view self-talk as something that insane people do. I mean, if you look at it from the outside, that's what it seems like. If you just stay there, you're doing good, you're doing calm, you're doing good. People would think that you're crazy, right? If you're talking to yourself. But yeah, you can do it without having to speak out loud. You can talk to yourself within your own mind. But yeah, people think that if you talk out loud to yourself publicly, people might think you're crazy. So watch out for that. But
it's like hypnotizing yourself.
Sort of.
Actually, so actually,
Go
no.
Okay, today I listened to interesting video of David Goggins. I sent that to you too, guys.
It's
it's the David Goggins. he said like sometimes we forgot who we are. Like, so he kind of like records who he is to like motivate himself back into his persona, who he is.
About talking to myself, right? So one thing I do when I'm in a situation where I feel anxious or anything, I think about what's the worst that can happen, right? You think this is going to happen, you think these are possibilities, but if you talking to yourself and if you going through the things, nah, that's not going to happen. So if you can remove the things that you're worried about. I'm talking a lot about worrying, right?
Worry. Worry is a big problem because we all have it.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
I feel like I talked a lot about worrying.
Yeah, you could talk.
Seems like you're worrying a lot.
Yeah. So back to where I left things off. So self-talk. I use self-talk most of the time. Like, I know that might be bad in someone's eyes, but not bad, but that might look crazy in someone's eyes. But self-talk, I use self-talk when I go to the washroom in the morning and wash my face or brush my teeth. I use self-talk. When I'm about to start work, I use self-talk. When I was about to start this podcast, I did some self-talk.
And when you are working out, definitely self-talk.
Definitely. So, self-talk can help you be aware of your present moment and current situation, and it can also like channel this inner person in you that believes in who you are. Like, so let's say you went into a mirror and said, "All right, Ruin, you're gonna do this great. You're gonna do this like this," and now your mindset is set to this moment that you're doing. You're at this. You're this person, right? So, if let's say you feel lost in your thoughts, so how do I use self-talk? So it's I have this template right here. We'll share this document, right, Kavin?
Yeah, Kavin.
We'll be sharing this document, right?
Yes.
The show notes. Yeah. We are good.
Yeah. So in this template, you guys can see, but I'll just say here. So what I do is I say I am. I don't always speak out loud. I just talk to myself in my mind too. So I just say I am. So if you guys are listening, you guys can do this. So I am. So you insert where you are and what you're wearing. Like, be as specific and have as much as details as you can, but do not be judgmental. It's just there. All right. So for me, I'd say I am sitting on my chair wearing a light blue hoodie at 9:11 p.m. for me. All right. And I'm recording a podcast that will help me improve myself and help me help some other people who are listening to the podcast. So that's what I'm doing. So in your case, like in the listener's case, you can say I am at home on my bed, maybe
somewhere.
Maybe somewhere else, maybe in your night clothes, maybe something else, and say I'm listening to a podcast that will help me learn something valuable in my life. So that's kind of like using self-talk to be present, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
and also when you are present, like Ruin, as you said, like when you think about something like that, when you like actively think something like that, then I think the improvement will be drastic because you are focusing on it more.
Yeah, exactly. Like Ruin said, the small things that he focused on, the color of his hoodie and like something like that, the place, exactly focusing on these little things helps us captivate our attentional space. This is a concept in books I'm reading. The attentional space, it's a huge topic to discuss. So yeah, it's one thing.
If you guys have heard, there's this thing called NSDR. It's called non-sleep deep rest. It's kind of I'd say it's sort of a hypnosis, but it's not. Don't be scared. It's not going to hypnotize you. What it does is, what it does is, so basically what it does is, it gathers your mind into this place and scans your body through your feet to your head, like top of your head, in a third person's perspective, and you just feel all the sensations and feel the sensations in your body, and you can observe how perception is different from sensation here, because you only focus on some sensations that you feel, even though you are feeling some sensations. So shall I get into talking about how the perception or sensation, or you guys have anything to add before that?
By the way, Rohin, when you explained that, I just remembered that there's a Buddhist meditation just like that, like being aware of your bones from your fingertips and something like that.
Yeah.
Before, what are we gonna move into?
No, I'm just gonna talk about how sensations and perceptions differ from each other, and how we can concentrate on some different things, concentrate on one thing without having our mind going everywhere and being not concentrated.
Yeah, let's move on to that. I have nothing to say. How about you, Kav?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
All right. So there's this thing called the perception continuum. I learned that from a podcast called the Huberman Labs podcast. I think you guys have heard of it. It's done by this person. I'd say it's his name is Dr. Andrew Huberman. He's I don't know what. Yeah, you guys know Andrew Huberman, right?
Yeah. I think anyone who listens to this podcast know about.
So Andrew Huberman talks about something called the perception continuum, which is this. Let's imagine that as a line with 2 points starting from interoception and exteroception. We'll get into what those are. But before that, we have to know about what sensations and perceptions mean, right? So we basically know what sensation means, right? So sensations are the inputs we gain from our sensory inputs. We feel touch, we hear sounds, we have taste, we have smell, we have vision. Vision is the biggest sensation. If you that's obviously true, right? Like you get most of the information through your vision, right? But perceptions, on the other hand, are the sensations that we acknowledge. So, do you guys agree that we sense something at every moment of our lives? Like literally every single moment, we are having a sensation of something, even though we don't.
Yeah.
So
even if it's not significant, we do something.
Yeah. So even if you don't, like, I'll just say now, you guys are all sitting down on a chair. Even though you guys didn't notice it, you feel this touch on the chair on your legs or something, right? So that's a sensation that you don't concentrate on. But these sensations that you concentrate on, let's say, like, you are now concentrating on my voice, right? So that's a perception. That's a sensation that you acknowledged. But getting into the whole interoception and exteroception, I think it's better if we just get into the next session, because it's going to be a bit complicated and a bit long.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
All right. Yeah. All right. So now that you guys and we have a better understanding of what sensation and perception and what the differences between the two are, you guys do, right? Now you understand what sensation and perception means, right? So there's this thing that I mentioned called the perception continuum. A perception continuum is a continuum built between 2 points. One is interoception and the next one is the exteroception. So briefly explaining what interoception and exteroception means is, interoception means internal, like simply. So it's from the surface of our skin and inwards. All right, that's the attention, or that's the awareness we have from our skin level and inwards. But exteroception it's the total opposite. So exteroception is the awareness, so the attention you have from your skin surface outwards, so your outside surrounding. But like,
and yourself.
yeah. The thing is, most people don't have a very good idea of what affects them. Like, if this is something that affects them internally, like if the distraction or whatever that causes them not to be mindful, is it occurring inside within them, or if it's something that's affected from the outside world. So people don't actually have a good awareness of what's happening that is causing them to...
Actually, that's about 47% of our life. 47% of our life, we are not aware of what's happening around us. So that's half of our life. Can you? And sleeping part, and there's a sleeping part too. So
yes, they are not at
right.
most of the time.
Yeah. So like, if you guys search for mindfulness meditation on YouTube, like, this is something that I did some deep research on, because I did a YouTube video on meditation stuff like a while back, so I had to do some research on it. So one thing I found out is that most of these mindfulness meditation techniques only talk about interoceptive meditation. So they only talk about how external stuff. Now, interoceptive meditation means you focus on internal stuff without external stuff. All right. So
Yourself.
most of the mindfulness techniques out there are focusing on how you can stop stop any effect coming from your external surrounding. But the thing is, if we talk about anxiety, depression, stress, whatever it is, most of those things are coming, like they might be affecting us from the external surrounding, but those emotions are amplified in our mind, right? So
Yes.
The thing is, there are two types of meditations that you can use. I'll just briefly explain this because I don't want to go too deep into meditation. So being mindful, you can talk about one thing called interoceptive meditation. So in these interoceptive meditations, the thing you focus on is from in your body, from your skin level inwards, right? So that's basically the meditations that most of the people know. So breathwork is an interoceptive meditation. If you close your eyes, now closing the eyes, what does that do? That shuts out one major sensation, right? So
External interceptions.
Yeah. So now the surrounding that's external, that now your external surrounding, the imagery, you won't see. That's how you close your eyes. Now, have you guys seen meditation music? So calm music, whatever it is. There are loads of stuff out there, right? That's to cut out the other external sounds, just this sound. And have you guys heard, like, be in a comfortable position that you can maintain this posture? That's to be in a position that your sensation of touch doesn't fluctuate much. All right. So while that's for interoceptive meditation. That's the crazy thing. Most of us know meditation, only the interoceptive part. So
Rohin, just give me a moment, because I'm so baffled by this, because I'm just I'm just now like seeing it, observing the things are like this because of the interception and extraception perception, right? It's I thought the most of meditation I followed and I know focusing on myself, focusing on my internals and stuff like that.
Yes.
Sorry, this is actually for three of us, this is not something new, right? I mean, we have practiced this without knowing what are these for the whole life, right? Every day, every morning in the school, at the same time.
We did that in school as well, I remember. So what I was saying is, so we shut out all these distractions from the external world and concentrate on internal. So there are loads of meditation that concentrates on internals. There are loads of breathing techniques, whatever it is, like like 2 inhales and 1 exhale, one deep inhale and one fast exhale, one fast inhale and one deep exhale, and box breathing methods and everything like cyclic hyperventilation or whatever complex stuff there it is.
Yeah, double inhales and stuff too.
Yeah, all these techniques, including like, have you guys heard of a meditation called counting heartbeats?
Counting.
There's a literal meditation that you count your heartbeat.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this show?
No. Just you don't. You just get into this still state. All right. And just
you get
your heart. Yeah.
Wow.
Where you can. That's how still you gotta be. All right. Like you. That's how. You can shut out all these distractions just to even feel your heartbeat. All right.
Yeah.
So all this stuff, you are being mindful about what's happening inside you. All right. So whatever the external. So let's say you came home or back from a busy day at university, busy day at work. You just had so many interactions. Now your mind is out. Like you have no concentration at all. Right. Your mind is at
distracted.
So yeah. What happened in the bus that day? What happened at the store that day? What happened at uni? What friends I met? All this stuff is inside your head. Now you're distracted, right? You have zero mindfulness at that point. All right. So what interoceptive meditation does is it shuts out all these external thoughts, external vision, external voices or noises or whatever it is. And you focus on what's happening inside. But let's say something that your friend at uni or work said, something that kind of disturbed your thoughts and made you feel hurt or anxious or whatever it is, right? Whatever negative emotion it is. Now you're now you're not mindful, but the thing that's causing you not to be mindful is inside your head. All right. But the thing that people get wrong is, all right, now the only meditation type people know is interoceptive meditation. So what they do is they put out some calming music, they shut out their eyes, they get still, they focus on what happens internally. You can't do interoceptive meditation when you have some negative thoughts inside your head, because now when you're focusing on your breath or whatever it is, all these negative thoughts,
it's closing the door after everyone's out or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's also this technique. I'll mention that too before I jump into the whole concept. So there's this technique that you can overcome this with, which is called stop thought, right? So there's this meditation type where you can close your eyes. Now, I know, like, even if you have a whole negative thought inside your head, you can close your eyes and see this thought come into your head. All right. So let's say some your friend at uni or work said something bad about you. Now you're meditating and you see this thought coming inside your head. All right, this happened. You don't judge it, but you notice it. All right. So you notice that this happens. This is, yeah. So this thought came into my head. I see it. I don't judge it.
Acknowledging it.
Right. Yeah.
Not shutting it down, but acknowledging it.
But yeah. Acknowledging it, but we don't judge it. We don't take into we don't take it into our heads. So, but the thing I wanted to say was extrospective meditations include focusing outside your body, except for focusing on the internals. So it could be as simple as going out for a walk. All right. So if something's bothering inside your head, you can just go out for a walk in nature, just listen to the sounds, listen. Yeah, watch how the birds or whatever it is on the trees or whatever it is, see how the people interact. And also there's have you guys heard of something called walk with intention? It's what we call it's this we have this Sakman Bhavana in Sinhala.
Yeah,
it's
definitely basically that.
It's the same thing as walking with intention. All right. So what walking with intention does is you focus on your foot touching the floor, like your what is this part you call it? Heel, right? heel to toe.
No.
You you place it, lift it. You focus on every step. All right. So that's how you focus outside. Like it's your skin and outwards, right? Like you feel your skin touch the outward surface. So it's not internal, but it's like it's exteroceptive. So it also can be as simple as just focusing on a physical thing, whatever it is, right? So let's say it was a bottle or a cup or whatever it is. If you are like, if something's going, like if something inside your head is causing you not to be mindful, causing you to be distracted. Let's say, for an example, you were studying, right? Let's say you were reading a book and you're distracted, right? So what you can do is take one letter of this book, concentrate. All right? Yeah. Let's say it was a word C. Yeah, C or whatever it is. Just notice the curves, how everything is written down. So you also this the Andrew Huberman also mentioned something that relates. I can't remember the exact thing, but what he said is visual perception. Like our mind follows our vision at first. Like vision comes first, like when processing stuff in our head. So if you focus on one thing, a letter or whatever it is, he also mentioned a dot. You can place a dot on the wall. Yeah, on the wall and just focus on it. And now you're focused on the external stuff. You know, so that's how get out of your head. But the thing I wanted to say is, people don't understand there's two different things, and it's just that we do the wrong thing thinking that it's the right thing.
Yes, mainly I think people know the methods, but they don't know how to implement it because they don't understand what is the reason for their problem. They're not they are like treating the wrong, medicating the wrong wound or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing.
I think I'll cover. Yeah.
Another thing I just want to add, Ruin, you talked about introspection meditation. So when we are doing introspection meditations, that you talked about this, that you are seeing that there's this thing that you see that thought is coming, but you are not judging it, right? You acknowledge the thought, but you are not judging it. The thing is, when we practically do this, it's hard not to judge, right?
Yeah,
I think it's very hard. Yeah. Actually, it's something in our bodies that we always judge, kind of thing. I mean, we always judge these things, and
also like it's like a spiral. Like if you think of something, you can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. So another thing is that
guys, just a second. Remind me that I had something interesting to talk about. That our mind can't not think about something. All right. No. Continue.
Yeah. Okay. So focusing, not focusing. The judgment, and another thing is that we have these things in our mind that we are very not proud of, kind of shame, like something. There are things that So one thing that I found in this research is that if you most of us think that if we shame ourselves about these things, so that we might improve one day, right? That's something that's kind of a thing that I even had few months ago. So this research says that if you judge these things, if you put shame into these little things, that this shutdowns the part of the brain that kind of helps us to learn and improve. So you might think that this is something mentally happening, but you can see it physically. So I have this image in the show notes. You can go and see this. That I mean, our brains are constantly changing. So if we are practicing something positive, it changes in the positive way. And if we are practicing something negative, like judgment, like shame, so these things can kind of reduce our brain capacity, kind of thing. So that kind of leads us down this path, right? I mean,
is cover for that. I think people do have shame and stuff like that because those are negative things, and they don't like to feel not negative, feel bad about themselves.
Yeah.
So they disregard that. The thing is, you have to accept everything and accept and learn from it.
Exactly. The thing is, you have to look into yourself kindly. You have to look into yourself kindly. Like Ruin said in the introspection, and when it comes to extrospection, you have to look at others kindly. They're like Ruin said, there's this thing. He said, if someone from the university said something that hurts your feelings, like something, you have to. You can't just let it go, right? I mean, we are all humans. We have these small things. Like we have to look those things in kindly, and we have to understand their situation and kind of things. So if we kind of how do you say it? If you kind of do a research or something like that about the thing he said, if you kind of give attention, then you can see it's not something related. Sometimes it's not even related to you. It's just that person is trying to express something, but it came out wrong way. Like something that happens to us all the time. So like that.
Yeah, and also it's more like even if someone criticizes you, you don't like someone said something hurtful to you. You have to, if it's not regarded about you, or if it's outright wrong, you can discard it and be kind to others. Because I heard this like you get what you like. Treat someone like you want to be treated. You should treat them with kindness, so you can expect kindness back. And also, if maybe sometimes even if it's something hurtful, maybe there's something true to that. Like there might be something actually true about that. You have to like accept it and look at it with not like just angry, or don't be angry or hurt. Just look at it as a simple sentence and judge it based on that. Whether it's true or not.
Yeah, another thing that I talked previously about the brain, that we think that we don't have control of our brain, right? But we have up to some extent. So if we practice self-judgment, shame, and these kind of things for long periods, it takes us so much down the steps that it's very hard to recover these parts. So like that.
Practice makes practicing those things again and again makes it a hobby, and like ourselves something practice of ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. So the mindfulness is giving the attention, giving the focus, having the awareness. So while doing that, I think you have to be aware, give the attention kindly, and be aware of your feelings, right? Like something.
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Just the fun thing I wanted to tell you guys about our minds. I don't know how exactly to put it. It's like you can't tell your mind to not do something, like not think about something. All right, that's just a fun thing I learned about. I think I saw it on a YouTube video. So let's say I told you guys don't think about a dying elephant.
You guys just exactly. I heard about that too, Ruin. Like mind can't think negative thoughts. It only can it doesn't recognize something as negative or positive. It just thinks.
It just thinks, and you do the judging, right? So you have to accept or acknowledge something for what it is, all right? And just if there always should be some judgment up to some extent. I won't say like you have to discard judgment from your life, because if you do that, I don't think you're
gonna end up in a bad place.
Bad place. So you have to be judgmental, but up to an extent that you can sustain being mindful, right?
And also judging before something even happen, or having prejudgment.
What would you guys say would be the upcoming problems of a person who doesn't practice mindfulness? And like if someone who practices mindfulness, how would that help them overcome those?
I think the biggest. Kavir, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Okay. So something I came when I'm doing research, something that came up again and again is like when someone's not mindful, they become addicted. Addictiveness is a practice they develop because they are not mindful, they are not aware, and they are when you are not mindful and when you are not aware, you can become addicted to negative stuff a lot of the time. And also something
I think it's about, when it comes to an addiction, whatever it is, let's say you are addicted to drinking alcohol or smoking, let's say smoking, right? Now, if you were addicted to smoking, you don't it becomes a habit, it becomes something automatic within yourself, that when you see your peers who you smoke with, or when you find this place that you smoke, you just do that. All right, that's now automatically happening in your life. But you have to be mindful enough to understand, you can use self-talk, like I mentioned. So let's say there's this place where your friends hang out to smoke, all right, where you smoke, the peers you smoke with hang out to smoke, and you pass it every day, when going to uni or when going to work. There's this spot, there's always a spot that people hang out, right? Smokers, non-smokers, whoever they are, there's always a spot that people hang out. So let's say for the story that there was a place that the smokers hang out, right? So every day you pass every day you pass this point, right? So now you can use self-talk just to clarify that you are in this position. You can say that, all right, so it's this time of the day, I am at this place with this person, and I'm about to do this. Now, smoking is not good. You want to stop it, all right? But it's just automatic. You don't have control. You have control, but you don't you're not mindful enough. Yeah, you're not mindful enough to recognize that you are in this position. So I think mindfulness brings attention into what's actually important, into making most of the important decisions in life, because most of the important decisions in life, we don't actually I wouldn't say most of the life-changing decisions are big decisions. I think a lot of small decisions build up to a big decision, and these small decisions we don't really think about. They just have we are not when it comes to a big problem, we are very mindful, right? We think about all the things. We think about the position I'm in, we think about the position that we can be in, and all this stuff. But when it comes to these small decisions that builds up to this big decision of your life, we tend not to focus or give the attention that much. So I think being mindful changes that up to some extent. You are now, if you're mindful, you are now aware of these small decisions that you make, and now that you're aware, you will make better decisions, right?
Exactly. That comes with the practice, right? I mean, if you are in the level 1 of kind of making your mind mindfulness, you can't reach. Yeah, you can't reach level max. Yeah, you can't reach the level max in 3-4 days. You have to practice it every day, right? I mean, if for the sake of the conversation, if we think meditation is what helps to reach that maximum level, you can't meditate for 10 minutes a day, or making or meditating 45 minutes a day, and you can't reach that level in 3 days. You have to.
It's not life is not a video game. You can head up.
You can't finish it in 3-4 maybe a day, 3-4 days. So
I'm a grind meditation.
The thing is, you have to train your mind. You have to train it constantly. You have to train it every day. You have to cultivate these small practices. So one of the practices is that you have to understand you can't reach the perfection in
Definitely.
few days or few months. Like you have to understand that your brain can't handle that. But what brain can handle is that the growth. You can constantly grow.
Yeah.
The brain can constantly grow. I mean, Ruin has a big head, so I think his brain will go up to.
That's one.
Out of all three of us, I think I have the smallest head. All right,
I mean,
I think I have a big forehead. I think I have a big forehead, not a big head.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, actually, forehead size kind of represent the size of your brain. So yeah, proves my point. So the thing is, you have to have the awareness that you are practicing these things.
just Nimruka casually showing that he has a big forehead too, just to make sure that he has a big brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another thing that I find from this research is that if you practice something for, imagine you're practicing meditation for 5 days in a row, 3 minutes a day, and you are not doing it for the next week, then you are not the level you have 5 days for the week before, right? You have to understand that.
I meditate for the next week also.
Yeah.
So I was humbled when I started meditation. Like the thing that you said about being perfect on the second day or the second time that you're trying something. So you guys remember the times I started meditating in the COVID periods, right? So
like the meditation videos and
everything. So so the first few days I was so committed to it. All right. So I tried meditating 1 hour, 2 hour every day.
Wow.
Like
yes, he did. And I remember his PR was like 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah. I think me and Nimruka had loads of talks.
Conversations.
But the thing is, it kind of humbled me because I couldn't concentrate for even 1 minute consecutive, like straight away. But I think it relates to what Kabir said. That you have to accept the fact that you have to be like at this level and gradually grow.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing, when it comes to mindfulness, the practice, it doesn't have to be anything that you can. For me, it's running. It kind of give me the focus. I think both of you have. I think Ruin doing meditation kind of thing in the morning, and he's aware of what he's doing, and brushing your teeth, washing your face, like something that it has that. If you want to improve, it has to be a part of your daily schedule, right? If it's something that you are not good at, if you are not, it's not something you can't make a habit. There are things that we can't make habits, right? We can't remove a block of 30-45 minutes in the morning for meditation. I can't for now. I can't. With that, I think most of the people can't. I mean, we have universities, we have work and everything. With that, so making the meditation or making whatever it is part of your day kind of helps you to reach the level more efficiently. That's not a good word, but I think effective.
More like integrate it into your life, not dedicate it and make it like a job or something.
Yeah, exactly. Make it a habit. Actually, when we talk about everything, it finally comes to this word: make it a habit, right? Habit.
Yeah. I wanted to mention something when Kavi said about going out for a run. I think we as humans become most mindful when we are in the most uncomfortable position. Is that right?
Yeah.
Like when I mean like let's say we were at the gym, all right? So you're doing bench press or whatever it is. You're maxing it out, all right? You're on the let's say you're on the 12th rep. You have 3 reps to complete your set, all right?
Last now
we are like, I know all these thoughts coming to your head now, but now we are really mindful about the situation. All right, I just got 3 more reps. All right, now my muscles feel like this, and I can't push and everything.
You felt like you got die.
Now that you're now that you're in this very uncomfortable position, you're mindful about everything that happens, everything that might happen, and that can be kind of negative as well.
Actually, cold shower ruin. Another thing I realized for the last week, that if I'm taking a hot shower, I'm very comfortable, right? I'm very comfortable. I can think about many things, but when I'm taking this cold shower, I can't focus on anything. I'm in a very hyper focus. That's the way. You're very focused on that. This is exactly what I'm doing, right? Yeah.
I think it's more like a adrenaline rush too.
Yeah.
Like
Actually, it's dopamine. I have this somewhere right here.
Maybe,
Here's the thing. It's the different points. Kindness give dopamine to look at the parts that we want to focus. It's actually, I have to put it in the previous part.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. That's all right. I think what Kavi mentioned as well. Like I think most of the good ideas that I get, I have it in a hot shower. Like when you're not focused on one thing,
When you're relaxed.
But when I'm having a cold shower, bro, there's nothing in my head except for this cold shower that's right there. Like you're just mindful, and like what happens at that moment is the only thing you're concentrating on.
And when you're like comfortable, relaxing, or taking a normal shower, you're singing and stuff like that.
So, but I think we should get into the next session. I think we have to talk about
the next.
We have to talk about how we.
I think.
Ruina.
The like how not practicing mindfulness might affect you in a negative way. I mean, it does, right? So we are mainly focusing on stress, but let's hop into the next session and
let's see how it goes. We're gonna talk about the problems come not being mindfulness.
All right. So in the previous session, we just mentioned that there can be really adverse effects to not being mindful. We talked about how it can cause addiction and how it affects decision making, and it also is a big reason that most people are stressed. Like stress. All right. So that's a big topic, but we're going to try to squeeze in as much as we can in this podcast itself. So, stress is often seen by the people in the society as a cause of poor health, mental breakdowns, lack of success, or whatever you want to call it. All right. So, stress in the society as a norm is a bad thing. All right. It's like stress insidiously acts upon you, and you're its helpless victim. All right, that's how people see stress. Like that's how I used to view stress as well. Like
everyone has been stressed even once in their life.
It's, at least they have thought that they've been stressed. All right, so imagine the number of times you told yourself, this is also something I want to mention. We talked about self-talk, right? Before, when we talked about how being mindful and being present. Now, this is stress is something that's generated from negative self-talk. All right. So stress is there. Stress. I know that stress you can't avoid, but stress is also amplified in your head by negative self-talk. So imagine the number of times that you told yourself, I'm so stressed out. I can't take this stress for one more minute. This assignment is killing me. I'm so stressed out by this assignment. This job is killing me. I need to have a drink. I need to have a smoke or whatever your vice is just to get out of stress.
Looking to relieve stress and stuff.
You see, the thing is, it's not the stress that's the problem, all right? So the thing is, like, you're not like the people who are not mindful view stress in a wrong way. So it's not stress that it's your problem. Like, your real problem is believing that stress that's in your life is the source of all your difficulties. Now, the reason people tend to think that is because they're not mindful enough to understand and view their present self to as of what it is right now. Like, it's all in your mind. Like, there's this famous quote, like, your mind can either be your enemy or your best friend, right?
Yeah.
Like, how we react to stress is kind of like a story that we tell ourselves. Stress is neither good or bad. It's just there, all right? It is what it is, but it gets a bad reputation from the social norms. People believe that secret to success or secret to happy life is to eliminate stress.
And also, it's like it can affect you in various ways. In accordance to how you perceive it. Like, if you relate stress as something like you have to face in order to develop yourself, it's gonna leave a positive impact. If you think of it as a negative thing, then it's gonna pull you down.
Yeah, exactly.
Perceive
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, actually, there's this point you have to find that this part is good for you, right? I mean, in a graph, if we put stress into a graph, there's a part that's good, that stress. Without that stress, you're not going to achieve your goals, right? But if you pass that limit, it depends on you. It depends on the person. If you pass that limit, you are not going to be productive as you are, and you feel the tiredness. You feel that you are investing so much energy, like you're draining energy, right? I think we all have experienced that in our life. So at that point, you have to adjust your life, actually. So adaptations, like something, adapt according to the routine and schedule. Yeah, Rui.
So what I was saying is that people think that a secret to a happy life is eliminating stress. I also wanted to say, even though we mentioned reducing stress in our topic and our title, it's actually not reducing stress that's going to help you. It's about managing stress. As Kavi mentioned, managing what's good, what's bad. All right. So how many courses and how many videos and stuff have you seen about eliminating stress? How much money does people spend on courses that helps you eliminate stress from your life? And it's like literally peeing into the wind. All right. It's just, you circle back just to the same point after spending thousands of dollars.
Because they are talking about like cutting off all the thoughts and stuff like that. It's like stress. They are not treating like the main root of the problem.
Yeah,
exactly. They're not teaching you to view stress correctly. They're just teaching you to avoid stress. Another thing that you have to identify stress in your own viewpoint. Otherwise, you are exactly.
If you are watching a video and he says this is stress, this is how I feel about stress. But when it comes to your life, it's totally different. That's the thing about stress and everything. You have to be aware of anything within yourself, right? Maybe use the third person talk, anything like that. Any technique that you are familiar with, and like that, you have to understand this is something unique to me, right?
Yeah. So the thing is, we have to understand that stress in itself is not a bad thing. Like, stress is another way to define a resistance or pressure. All right. So stress, I think we need stress to grow as humans. So
definitely.
Let's take a weighted exercise at the gym for an example, right? So like having a weight introduce stress to your muscles, right? So you need stress. Like, the stress is what improves your muscles. Stress is what gives your muscles a chance to improve and come over this stress. So that's, I think, that's something we have to take into mind. Stress is something that you need to adapt to, and that will actually get you to a higher level. Like, that's, like, people call the stress, like, not people, scientists call the stress that improves you like stress on the muscles and stuff. They call it eustress. All right. So eustress is good stress, but in reality, it's just how we mentally frame and handle the stress that is good. All right.
How you navigate through the situation.
Yeah, it's not the stress itself. It's just how they mentally frame it and handle it. It's how you manage the stress. All right. Like stress itself isn't bad. It's the relationship you have, like the mindful relationship you have with what you call stress, that like it's the labels that you put on it, like if it's eustress or de-stress, that makes it bad for you. It's
like Ravin mentioned in the previous episode, like previous session, like mind doesn't recognize something as inherently negative or positive. It just recognize something. Yeah,
exactly. So I also wanted to show you guys this, tell you guys this interesting thing. So when we are at a point like let's say you were in a pretty I wouldn't say uncomfortable, let's say a sudden situation, right? So let's say it's kind of like a jump scare, not exactly a jump scare, but it's kind of like a jump scare, right? So what it's kind of a stress, right? So so let's say you're introduced to this new stress exactly at a point that you didn't expect. All right. So what are the responses of your body? Your heart rate elevates, your blood pressure increases, you have rapid breathing. It gives you a boost of energy too, right? Like with the adrenaline. So I just read this in this book. All right. This is the book I mentioned last week as well. It's called Unbeatable Mind. You remember the book I mentioned about the Navy SEAL? That's the yeah. So in this book, like it mentions that these all these 4 or 5 things I mentioned, it's the same for good, what we call good stress and bad stress. But it's the thing is, so have you guys heard of something called the fight and flight response?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of mechanism that's hardwired into our human brains. When we are introduced to a new stress, either we fight it and improve, or just ignore it and fly away. That's just how it is. So look at everything that I mentioned: elevated heart rate, increased blood pressure, rapid breathing, boost of energy. Both of all of these things relate to both of the fight and flight. Your heart, your heart rate elevates when you're fighting. Your blood pressure elevates when you're fighting. You have rapid breathing when you're fighting. You need a boost of energy to fight. And also for flight, when you are scared and fly away, you have rapid heart rate. You have increased blood pressure. There's rapid breathing. There's a boost of energy and adrenaline that you have to run. It's the flight and fight response. Like what I'm trying to say is, when you're introduced to a new stress, if you're mindful enough to actually classify whether you fight it or you fly from it, you run away from it, like that's how you label it as eustress or de-stress. Like I think having mindfulness doesn't reduce stress. It helps you manage stress and notice where you are and how whether you can fight it and improve or just fly away. And also I want to mention, I kept saying that being in stress is good, like stress can help you improve, but there's a limit. As Kavi mentioned, if you put it in a graph, there's a limit that there's good stress and bad stress. So a consistent how do I say this? Like if you're in a position where you're in stress consistently, that won't be hopeful for you in any way. That will be very bad for you. You just have to find out this as I think Kavi mentioned as well, like you have to find your relationship with stress. So you have to find out where you can draw the line, where stress helps you, where stress is going to help you down.
About the line, actually you can improve the line. Actually we talked about in the previous session that continuous practice. I'm not telling you to
practice,
put yourself through stresses, not stresses, but if you practice somehow not somehow.
Tolerance.
Yeah, exactly, tolerance. You can improve the tolerance by changing your external environment. I mean, there are so much. If we talk about stress, it's mostly because we focus on unwanted stuff like distractions. So if we change our daily routine or anything like that, something to remove these distractions, then we have more attentional space. So we can focus on the things that we work on, and also we can improve our attentional space with the continuous practice. So like that, if we are able to improve our attentional space, that helps us to improve the amount of work that we can focus on. If we can focus on that amount, if we can focus on if we can give the focus to a specific work more than we think we have to, that helps us to reduce the stress that comes from that work. I mean, if you think, imagine this number 2 is the stress level, but if we can expand our levels up to the graph, the line Ruin said, then the stress levels become 1, right? You can reduce how that specific work affect our life. Yeah, Ruin.
Yeah, so I just wanted to clear out the relationship, like everything I mentioned, like the relationship you have with stress is not exactly correct. I mean, it might be. I'm just saying the relationship I had with stress is not correct. Like being mindful actually helped me realize what point of like where I am. Like if I'm introduced to a new stress, like I was so in stress when I moved to Australia. Like it was a new thing to me. There was so many new things I needed to adapt to. That was new stress, right? But I needed to be mindful to understand like which part of this will help me improve and which part of me which part of the stress should I put myself into and which part of the stress should I take myself out of. It's just understanding where your limit is and where you draw the line, while as Kabir mentioned, moving the line to improve yourself, like the threshold where you can handle stress, I think. Yeah.
And also, and also when we
Then
talk about stress and some situations are stressful, but they are out of control. Like some situation, we can't do anything to improve that situation, to reduce or navigate the situation. I think those are the situations that you have to fly away from or run away from. And being mindful, I think it gives you being mindful is being aware, right? So I think it's help you to understand whether this this stressful situation, can you navigate through it, or can you improve the situation, or can you develop yourself through that? Because sometimes, like as I mentioned, some situations are out of your control. So when a situation is out of control, you have to make a decision whether to run away from it or to fight it. And also when talking about stress, also depression, also a huge topic when it comes to stress, because I myself personally experienced this with stress, building up stress. When we talk about the stress line, right? There's a fine line between stress, controllable stress, and tipping point when you can't control anymore. I personally experienced this with stress, and with this stress, I became depressed. I think depression and stress is interconnected. They have interrelationship. When you can't control the stress, as you mentioned before, Kaviru, when you go over that line without practicing.
It's kind of a cycle. High depression can lead. I'm not sure. This is my view. If you are depressed, it can lead to stress. If you are stressed more than you should, then that leads to depression. So another thing, we talked about self-talk. The one of the main things that creates depression is that negative self-talk, right? I mean, can positivity self-talk, but sometimes there are times we can't stop going to the negative sides, right? That's the thing about practicing. Yeah.
It's about like worrying about things, like worrying about things out of control and not feeling enough of your not feeling yourself and like no feeling like you are not enough, feeling like you are not good enough or something like that.
Yeah, actually, that thing leads to loneliness kind of thing. I mean, if you think that you are not good enough and you have this kind of shames, like some things, this leads to loneliness. And one of the main things that I'm looking at right here is that 70% of the most of the time, 76% of the US population have this. They have the loneliness in their life that we usually see. We usually don't see. So actually, I will say upload these images to show notes.
And
it shows that this shows with digitalization and COVID.
Yeah, definitely.
How much those things have increased the loneliness and how much the depression rates have increased. And it's not just working people or anything like not just those between age 12 to 13, 14 to 15. Every category has improved, increased the level of depression.
Yes, I think the main reason for that is not feeling like yourself is good enough, not feeling yourself good enough. Like everyone's trying to compare themselves to someone else. Everyone's trying with the social media and stuff like that. And also with when it comes to stress, like the depression and stress, it's like when you think you're not good enough, when you then you try to improve yourself, then when it's not going your way, it becomes stressful, and those stressful situations can lead into depression also, because you feel like you can't do it, or it's too much for you to handle, something like that.
Yeah. Another thing is that people think that our thoughts are completely separated from our physical body, right? I think we haven't discussed that part. I can't remember. I think we haven't. So this research says that people in their 60s with low purpose, which means they have no awareness. After retiring, most people don't have that awareness that they had in their whole lives, right? So they are likely to die within 5 years after retiring, and that begins with the unhealthiness in the mind, and then it affects the body like that. Another thing that I learned from this book is How to Stop Worrying and Start Living is that most of your worries they affect your mental health, but that affects your physical health as well.
Yeah, definitely.
The moment that these worries and fatigue affects your physical health, that's when you realize that something has changed in your body. But you have to find these things, find the negative thoughts and find the negative negative things. I'm gonna use the word things a lot, but if you have to identify, and being mindfulness helps to identify these little things before they affect your physical body, right?
Yes, definitely. You guys both might know this, but I am a firm believer of your physical body, and mental health is interconnected. Like, you have to have a strong physical body in order to create a strong mindset. So, as Kabiru said, your mental negativity and mental fatigue can affect your physical side. But I'm a firm believer of to build up a strong mindset, you have to have a strong physical body as well, because I think they are interconnected, because our mind is within ourselves, right? So you have to improve your body and physicality to match the strength of your mindset. Like right now, I'm kind of overweight because I ate a lot during the COVID and quarantine period. So I'm not that the level I used to be physical. So I have understood that now. I have realized that my mentality have weakened because of that situation, and I'm trying to improve my physicality so I can improve my mindset further.
Yeah. I think we are almost getting to the end of the session, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about what are action items for this week? And
Yes, action items.
Yeah. So I have this. I think I mentioned this before about kindness. I think this week our action item should be practicing mindfulness. Yes, but when practicing mindfulness, you have to try to be kind to yourself. And what was the two meditation you talked about, Ruin? Introspective and extrospective.
yeah.
So when it comes to introspective, try to be kind to yourself, and when it comes to extrospective, be kind to other people. I mean, another thing is that we practice this in our whole life as Buddhist. I think we call it Maitri Bhavana. So if you you don't have to be don't have to look at any videos. So you don't have to try anything else. It's the thing.
Yeah.
Actually, mindfulness. Mindfulness is generated from Buddhist philosophy.
It's a Buddhist practice, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Buddhist practice. So I think that should be mentioned in this part. Yeah.
I think I'd say a good action item for this week would be noticing when you get distracted, or when you let bad negative thoughts into your head and just get out of focus, right? So I think it would be a good action item if you could try to be mindful and notice that this is happening at this point, like I am thinking of a negative thing, and try to do some meditation or whatever the practice that you gain mindfulness from, and try to regain your focus and be more mindful at that time. Also, I wanted to mention that we wanted to do a session that we do a mindfulness meditation kind of thing with you guys, but I don't think we'd have time in this session, right?
Yeah. I think this is long too, right? This episode.
But
this is
we'll try to put some instructions in the show notes, or if we do have the time, we'll do a separate short clip that'll explain and guide you guys through that. So if we do that, just it'll for sure be on the show notes. So if we don't upload a separate video, just look at the show notes and try to do that and practice that. That works so well. The NSDR, it's called non-sleep deep rest protocol. It's really helpful for you to gain mindfulness, and it was helpful for me, and I think it will help you guys too.
And another thing, Ruin, I think in the first or second episode, we talked about time management, right? And another thing that can use to reduce stress is managing your time and managing your tasks. I mean, I think if you want to look at that, you can go to our second episode and find that actually we'll put a timestamp down.
So I think that's it for this episode, right? We talked about a lot of things, mindfulness, and how you can gain mindfulness, and how mindfulness affects your day-to-day lives, and how it can help you improve and everything. I hope, like, if you haven't been a person who practiced being mindful, and a person who has been affected due to that, I think this video, I hope this video helped you. We hope this video helped you, because we were kind of at the same point as, I mean, we still are up to some extent. We haven't still, So I think all these things, most of the things that we mentioned are coming from our personal experiences. So it worked for us. So there's a high chance that it should work for you too. I think that's it for this episode. We hope you guys learned something new. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. And if you haven't watched the previous episodes,
Definitely.
you guys go watch it and subscribe and like and share and show us some support. Mention in the comments that what do you guys want us to talk about and whatever the aspects that you want us to improve and something that you want to add or whatever the recommendations you have. And yeah, we'll meet in another episode. I think next week. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Until then, take care and
See you.
peace.